Acolytes, welcome. The blue sky is falling and falling, and of course, falling. Good. Step by step, day by day, this effing freak show, PDF file, terrorist supporter, freaking bread for racism is falling down. And that's good. I hope that everyone who is actually on Blue Sky actively isn't a nice human being will get it a bit harder in real life. But let's see it. And by the way, an acolyte said please and thank you for this video, so I just had to do it, even though I planned for something else. See, priorities, acolytes. Priorities. Let's start.
Back, guys. Hope you've had a great weekend so far. Today we're talking about Blue Sky, but not in the usual context of the voice actor click over on Blue Sky. Today we're taking a look at Blue Sky itself, as things are getting pretty bad over on Blue Sky, causing people on the Blue Sky subreddit to make posts like this, saying not enough people are doing their part. So largely speaking, ever since I made the jump from Twitter to Blue Sky, I've been trying to rally as many artists as I can to make a Blue Sky account. I've even made a thread that can help those artists get their footing a bit better. I, however, am getting worried, as I'm noticing a decline in Blue Sky growth. Now, I'll never claim to know if that's normal or not, as I'm not a...
You know what? I am happy about this. Good. The less freaks are on there, the better it is. I don't care if you're an artist, a freaking Maura, a cook, and you're on Blue Sky, you're wrong. I don't care. If you're on this site of freaking PDF files overrun shithole, you are wrong. Acolytes, a freaking amputated zombie, brain amputated, sorry about that one, would know that this is a bad idea.
tech guy, and never have been. But it does concern me that we finally get a place that cares about us, only for a lot of people to just be silent about it.
The Blue Sky developers don't care about you.
We need to have more people direct these artists to the site. Genuinely. Even if it means copy-pasting the same message, more people need to hear about this. Oh yeah, let's just spam a bunch of the same stuff. That'll definitely help. I've been doing it all from artists on Twitter, Pixiv, DA, Newgrounds, heck, even Ink Bunny 2 different times. Need more people to know, or the site's just going to be swept under the rug. Now look, don't get the wrong idea. I'm not here to shill for Twitter. I don't care if you use it or don't use it. You can take a look at my Twitter account, for example, and see that my own activity on Twitter is extremely minimal, especially last year. I basically didn't post at all last year. Like, a handful of posts, if that. It's only like the last month that I've started becoming somewhat active again, and half that activity is basically on my VTuber Twitter account, where I've been interacting with people who are sending me art, and especially like art of a
hell yeah, the dude knows what's up. I am posting on Twitter, of course, but why am I on Twitter? Because of the fucking art. Simple as that. Love it.
Certain type, a certain niche, is that the way of putting it? The point I'm getting at is that it sucks for artists who went to Blue Sky hoping it would be like a better place, only to be met with disappointment, as by far most of the activity on Blue Sky seems to be like non-stop political brain rot slot.
Correctly.
Posting. On that note, that takes us to...
By the way, it is. I was on there for a short time, and I'm gonna be honest, acolytes. Blue Sky. This effing shite. Nah, man. Nah. It's just... I don't know why you would join if you are really invested in art, or at that matter anything else. It's just politically motivated freaking freaks that just want to go in and do bad stuff. It's really bad stuff. So
the next post that reads, "The best way to help Blue Sky succeed is to share funny, interesting, and creative posts." I know this sounds like a no-brainer, but I feel a lot of us need a reality check. Guilt-tripping people, making it some activist cause, or a crusade against Twitter definitely does have some use. But it doesn't have broad appeal. The general internet goer has a stronger reaction to a post or website being cringe than they do it being a racist Nazi platform. As sad as it is, that's just the reality of things. Cross-post as much as you can. Whenever you see a funny, interesting, or creative post, share it with your group chat. Make it a screenshot and post it cross-platform. This is how social media actually spreads and grows. What I find especially funny about this post is the beginning says that we need to get a reality check. That person goes on to refer to Twitter as a racist Nazi platform. That's the exact sort of rhetoric that this person's talking about initially, as being like not actually good. Like it's actually hurting like them on Bluesky more than helping them by constantly referring to Twitter and Twitter users as like Nazis and a Nazi platform. But then dude literally does the same thing again later in the post. Like who's gonna want to be stuck on a platform where everyone there is saying a bunch of extremist rhetoric like that? Lying about people and falsely accusing people. Like, hey, come to Bluesky and be stuck in this hive mind of weirdos. Yeah, that's a great selling point. Oh, hold on. Oh no, what's this? These usage statistics are rather worrying. Going on to link some analytics about...
And by the way, yes, he is correct. Why would I? Well, acolytes, just do not go on Bluesky if you actually respect yourself. The only thing that I'm gonna use Bluesky for is to look up if anyone that speaks with me and wants to, well, basically talk with me, is on Bluesky and what he posts. Because you can filter out the freaks, the really hardcore freaks, so quick with that. So quick. It's incredible. For that, Bluesky is actually quite nice. But all the rest,
About Bluesky stats that are not looking good. Spoiler alert too, we'll take a look at a much more recent post just from yesterday where things continue to get even worse. We can see according to these analytics, daily likers are trending down, daily posters are trending down, daily followers are trending down, daily records are also trending down. Back to that post, There is immense cope in the comments, in the replies here, and it's actually hilarious, sorting by best on Reddit. The first top comment here basically has this person trying to suggest that, well, the analytics are only down because a bunch of bots are getting banned. That's got to be it, guys. That explains it all. But the next top comment has a different theory. By the way. Well, the analytics are down because clearly the weather's getting nicer in the northern hemisphere. People are using social media less, guys. That's what's going on here. It's the weather. Bluesky is failing because of the weather, guys. Don't you know? Come on.
This is a new one. Bluesky is failing because of the weather. I never heard that. That's an excuse to a delusional degree. That's just... It's fantastic. It's I think... Yep, because of the weather.
And then this one, going on to say that Bluesky is just less addictive than most, but it's a good thing. Now look, some studies do claim that social media use does increase when the weather's bad, but regarding an entire platform tanking because of that, it seems like a dubious claim, in particular because, first of all, the studies have extremely small sample sizes, and second of all, perhaps even more importantly though, is that, well, worldwide the weather's going to be different in different places, so it's really hard to actually come to a valuable assessment based off such metrics. And when it comes to Bluesky's plummeting engagement rates, plummeting analytics overall, well, there's certainly more important factors to analyze than just trying to say it's because of the weather. That really comes off like a bunch of cope. Oh my gosh. What the frick? Someone else said it's the weather too. No way, bro.
No.
It's probably the weather, honestly. When you get a new job, my dad said, make yourself noticed. Let them forget about you, then make them realize they can't live without you. It's probably good for Bluesky to fix problems for a few months. That way, when we need it, when Twitter implodes, it will be robust and take over. Yeah, we'll see about that, won't we? And yet things continue to get even worse.
Yeah. By the way, bad admit thing, I don't think that if you have a new job not getting noticed, then make them notice because they cannot live without you. No, that's bad. Make your job as good as you can and just interact with the people, with your boss, and be like, hey, how is it? How can I get farther here? What are the rewards for that? Just show them that you actually have some interest. Talk with them about the interest of actually going forward in this entire shebang and how you can actually manage to do it. Then it's actually way better. You're way better off than being the silent type somewhere in the corner and doing, well, like everybody does. Acolytes. It's more of a, just show interest.
We got this post that reads, interactions, responses, and likes way down last month. Anyone else have their post interactions, responses, and likes decline drastically in the last month since Muskite left the WH? Has a lot of people returned to X, formerly known as Twitter? Just curious if others have experienced this too. No, I'm not here to bash Bluesky. I left X. We can see a top post here reading, I feel like Bluesky is generally
That's why
down in
people don't wanna
excitement,
join.
no? Less and less people I'm following post, and less people sign up to Bluesky. It's not
Yeah.
a good sign. To be a strong platform,
Yeah, of course, if you had a freaking cut of necrotic limb somewhere, you wouldn't want to go in there. For F's sake, you call someone who actually can effing do it and get rid of this thing, because if you touch it, you could get freaking pested on, or you yourself just get some fucking gloves, a fucking mask, and just remove it. By the way, never touch our limb if it's somewhere. It could be, first of all, a crime scene. Second of all, it could also be that there is some disease or something like that on it, or that it's just, you know, you could fucking die because of it. So don't touch it. And treat Bluesky the same.
needs fresh blood constantly. Response reading. The rollout of features has been too slow for most people. I get Bluesky as a small team, but that's not going to stop people from leaving once they get tired of waiting for features other sites already have.
Yeah, fair
Conversely,
enough.
however, this response saying, nope, still totally normal for me, and this one saying, my interaction levels feel normal personally. But then we've got this one. It says, yup, I gave up and deactivated last week. My first couple of months on the platform, starting December last year, I got 1,400 followers, including many of the heavy hitters who don't follow many people. Tons of engagement. It was great. Tons of great accounts to follow, and it was nice to have my ideas heard. The past couple of months, if I make one non-reply post per day, maybe one per month or less gets more than 5 likes. And usually that's if one of the bigger accounts sees and reshares it. A non-reply post getting seen on its own seems virtually impossible in recent months. It's like a spigot shut off, or they have shadow bans, and I have no idea why I'd be subjected to that. Similar content will get hundreds of likes on Threads, even though I only have around 650 followers over there. That platform, of course, has its own issues, but I'm just sharing my comparison experience. And I know someone's going to say this is complaining, whatever, it's not. Just stating facts and concurring with OP that engagement
Hey,
is
if
way
you work
down
with
lately.
data,
I'll
I buy
reactivate in a month or
data.
two and see if anything's changed. And there's this one that says deader than a doorknob. It's like I'm talking into a large empty void. I left Twitter and had a ton of followers, constant engagement, likes, retweets, and then deleted and went to Bluesky. It's dead Ned. But hold on, guys. Maybe we were wrong. Bluesky's growing again. Let's hope this trend continues. From just one day ago. This made by a top 1% poster on the Bluesky subreddit. They must know what they're talking about. They added on to this saying, on the 7-day Bluesky stats charts, we're finally seeing green numbers. Wow. Let's take a look at these green numbers. Wait, there's red too. Uh-oh. Daily users on Bluesky down 0.2%.
Yep.
Daily posters on Bluesky up 0.3%. Daily posts on Bluesky up 0.1%. Daily likes on Bluesky up 6.1%. Daily likers on Bluesky up 0.3%. Oh my gosh. No, this one can't be right. Daily follows on Bluesky down 0.132%. Well, that's fine. This is definitely good news, right? A top response reading. Those
By the way, I seen the statistics for for Twitter itself, and yeah, not as bad. Not as bad as Bluesky. I just said that. I just have to admit it's just so good to see that it just fails. Maybe if it gets its shit together and freaking throws out this toxic, politically motivated people out, then it gets better. But nah.
Those daily active users are not a good sign. I want nothing but the best for Bluesky, but this app will likely remain a very niche product that doesn't reach mass market appeal. They don't seem to have the bandwidth to build this app in a way that scales fast or attracts Twitter users. And as terrible as Twitter is, people still use it. Response they got reading,
Yeah, of course,
quote,
because
as
it's
terrible
good.
as Twitter is, unquote, why do you want to recruit those users? If that site is so terrible, why would you want those people to come over to Bluesky? To what end? To make it worse here? Bluesky more than doubled its user base in 6 months, which was more than 30 times growth a year ago when it opened up. It's growing just fine for a social network. We're just corporated pilled to assume anything but exponential metric explosive growth is somehow a failure. Response to them, reading, you know that Twitter isn't just politics, right? What about the anime community on Twitter, which is very active? Don't you want them? I follow countless accounts that follow anime, news, artists, voice actors, and friends sharing what they're watching. The majority of anime community I see outside artists on Twitter are reactionaries and drama accounts who use anime like any other pop culture thing to radicalize young people. Oh my gosh, dude. Mostly young men to right-wing causes. I'm not interested in courting those people over to Bluesky, no. The brain rot, this is what I mean, dude. Some of these people are so freaking brain rotted, it's sad. Someone else says to them, yeah, I don't know what side of Twitter you're on, but there's a bunch of anime accounts that don't do the things you say, and this doesn't take into account every other topic where they have a gigantic advantage. I've tried seeing if my favorite fandom exists on Bluesky, and 9 times out of 10, it's absolute crickets. That's not even mentioning other languages where the Bird app has an even more gigantic leap. Pretending like Twitter is full of devious users who only spread hate is like thinking people who drive cars hate the environment and litter everywhere they go. But yeah, that sort of person is like the average Bluesky user, completely brain rotted, politically obsessed, and delusional. Another response here saying it's basically plateaued. I mean, it'll be what it is for those still using it, but the days of fast growth are over. The Big Tell, the biggest follower base, AOC, has already stopped posting on Bluesky, and it's only been posting back on X. The responses they got reading, AOC's team needs to learn how to cross-post, but that chart shows numbers that are quite healthy for a new site. Wow, I didn't know AOC stopped posting there. That is not good for Bluesky. Bluesky is larger than AOC. So yeah, it's really not looking good over there, but let me know what you think about this stuff. As always, thank you so much.
Hero High, thank you for the information. Nice. I'm actually quite surprised that he just holds out and never says what he thinks about it. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. At the end of the day, hey, if Bluesky is crumbling, good. Why would I want a site that's this absolute toxic thrives, that harbors this bad of people? Hey, as it is, good night.